Well, hello, friend. Today we are going to work on emojis, and now that the system has pretty decent support for them, I figured it's time we have a way to input them as well. And so, what I would like is for a key combination to bring up a little window that has all the available emojis, and then you could just click on one to insert it in whatever widget is currently focused, basically. So let me just start up the system here so we can see. So for instance, if I'm in text editor, right, I would want to press like Control Alt Space, for example, and then it would like pop up a modal window thing that sits over this window, and I have to choose something, and it would be, I guess it would be like a menu maybe, but not a menu, but like conceptually the same, right? That like if you you have to interact with it, and then if you click outside it, it goes away. So like the context menu, but different. At least that's sort of what I'm thinking right now. So let's try it. So we'll start by making a libgui widget for it. So this will be call it an emoji input menu, or emoji input window, maybe. Emoji input window. Let's call it that. And yeah, so the idea is that any libgui widget that wants to can like spawn one of these things, and it will just pop up where you tell it, and maybe you'll tell it which widget you are, and then or wait, how should this work? No, it shouldn't be that the widget spawns it. We should put it at a higher level so that you can use it for any widget, and it will be sort of like I don't know, should it be like a key event? No, it shouldn't be a key event. Okay, let's not think too much about this. It could actually be a key event because our key events are made in such a way that they have text. So we could synthesize a key event, but that might be the easiest approach to this, because that means that any widget that supports key events would suddenly support this. Or what would our text editor do? Let's look at that, because that's the most relevant one. So key down event in text editor will go all the way down to here. If it's not special key for any reason, then it will insert at cursor or replace the selection with the event.text. So that's exactly what we want. So we just need to synthesize a text event with an emoji in it, and it will automatically work in text editor. And I think that's good. And then any new widget that handles key down events with text will automatically have emoji support. That would be cool. So let's just get everything started here. Emoji input window, CPP, and let's just see that everything comes up. All right, so I wrote this year, so let's say that. And emoji input window. So how are we gonna do this? I guess this will just be a window that you can pop up. But maybe this should be a helper class somewhere, not one that you instantiate yourself, actually. But let's put it in a separate class for now. But I'm just thinking maybe this would go in like the GUI application or something like that. Basically where we handle inputs. We'll see. Anyway, so what are we gonna have in this thing? I guess layout-wise, all we need is a label widget that has, we need a grid of labels, might be the easiest, or a grid of buttons, but labels seems kind of obvious. And, or wait, maybe buttons would look kind of cool, because then we could do the cool bar effect, like this thing where it looks flat, but then when you hover it, it gets a little cool bar outline. Let's do that. Okay, so we will have a constructor. And okay, so actually maybe we just go straight for the let's build up the UI, because it will be better once we can see it, and then we can start to think about how it should work. Okay, why is the text so small? It feels weird. Okay. So now we are a GUI window, and then we need to give ourselves a main widget, and we are gonna put layout in there, box layout, and I guess we're gonna use buttons. Okay. And that should be good. So set main widget, just a regular widget. And then set layout. So really I wish we had a grid layout, but we don't have a grid layout, so we're gonna have to do like rows of horizontal, like a vertical set of rows of horizontal containers will probably work. So it'll be a bit weird. But we also need to enumerate all of the available emojis. So those are in res emoji. So we can just look up all of these file names here. So let's write some code that does that. And then maybe we'll write a helper for this. Emoji code, no, just U32. Emoji code points. Supported emoji code points. And we'll make a core dear iterator for res emoji. Skip dots, yep. Okay, and then how does this work? While DT has next, name is, or yeah, name, file name, DT next path, and then let's get string builder up in here. Or wait, do we actually? Maybe we don't. So now we want to get the file name, excluding the extension, and then we want this, and we want to parse it as a hex. So that'll be, let's get act file system path and maybe stdlib. Okay, and then base name is file system path of file name, base name. Or wait, hold on. If fs path extension is not png, well, we can't really deal with this. I don't know what you're doing here, but let's skip over that. Okay, and then we want to parse that as a hex digit, so stir 12 guess, oh no, base name dot characters. Let's just assume that it's valid. Code point. Store tool. Okay. And then we'll add it to an output vector. Code points. Right. And code point and return code points. So hopefully that'll just work. It'll probably not work because we have to skip over something. It was U plus. So we got to skip over the first two steps in the file name here. Or let's say if base name, if not base name starts with U plus, then continue. Yeah. Okay. So we'll set a layout, vertical box layout, main layout, let's call it. And I'm thinking we'll have no spacing in this layout. Okay, and code points is supported emoji code points. So basically, we want to split this into, how do we want this to work? I guess we want to split it into rows and columns. So what will be a good number of them to have in a row? They are 7 pixels wide. So, and how many do we have actually? 24. So if we divide those into rows of, say, 5, then we would get 5 rows. That seems kind of reasonable-ish, so let's try that. 5 rows. Yeah, let's do that. Or 5 columns is really what I was thinking. Anyways, we'll probably have to tweak this later on, make it scrollable and all kinds of things if people add more emojis, but we gotta start somewhere. So, let's say row count. Rows is columns is 5, size t, rows is seal div, code points size divided by columns. All right, and then 0 rows. Okay, horizontal container. So in the main widget now, we will add a child, and this child will have its own layout. So call it the row container maybe, and wait, horizontal container. Horizontal layout. Set layout, horizontal box layout. And then we will iterate through the columns here. All right, and I guess we can keep an index like this, and then we will just add these guys one by one. So we'll do button is horizontal container, add button, and then we want to put a, I guess, emoji text. So the way that we create the emoji text from the code point is the only way button text is UTF-8, so we have to produce a UTF-8 string from this code point, and the easiest way to do that is to use string builder and a UTF-38 view. So it's a little bit convoluted at the moment because all of this UTF-32 stuff is just coming in, so the APIs are pretty awkward, but basically we can do append and then create a UTF-32 view onto the code points index plus plus and 1. Yes, that's what we'll do. And then the emoji text will be builder to string. Okay. Oh, and we should also go here and set spacing to 0. And then maybe on click we'll say something like, if you click on one of these, then we should, maybe this should be a dialogue actually, now that I think about it. Should this be a dialogue? That might be easier. Because then we kind of already have all the abstractions in place, and maybe it's a little bit awkward, but maybe it will just work. Let's try making it a dialogue instead. Dialogue, and then we need a parent window that we can just pass to dialogue. Okay. Emoji input window. Let's just rename it to emoji input dialogue. Yes. Because I was thinking about like, how do we transfer the state of after success, like how do we transfer the state to our client or to who's using us, right? And using the typical dialogue abstraction of saying I'm done, like that's pretty good here. So we can just say done, and it went okay. And then what we want to do is we want to save the state, and the state is just going to be which button you clicked. So for that we need to know which button this is, so we'll do something like that. Just grab a pointer to the button, and then we'll say M selected emoji text as button text. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then it'll be this will be a string. Or actually, we could make it a code point, but let's do a string for now because it kind of simplifies the API. And yeah, so you'll instantiate this like a normal dialogue, and then you will check if it returns exec OK, which means that you did some operation that you want to commit to, right? And then you'll fetch the selected emoji text from the dialog in that case, right? And we should have some way to opt out, to like bail here, but I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be. I guess one thing we could do is we could implement keydown event and make that a we could bail if you do this. Wait, why don't you like keydown event? Oh, because it's a dialogue and that's a window. Oh, oopsie doopsie. Okay, yeah, windows don't get key events. That's true. But they do get events. They get all events. So you could we could just go here and say event, how do we do this? Liquid event. If event type is goo event, wait, what's it called? Key down? Yeah. And then we can just do this, static cast, key event. And if there are no modifiers, or actually let's just say if key is key escape, then done, exec cancel. Total bailage, event ignore. Otherwise, we will just let the dialog deal with the event. Or actually, wait, ignore. No, this should be accept. We are, oh, we don't even have to accept. Yes. So that's kind of sensible. All right. So how do we get one of these things to pop up? I'm thinking we'll do it. So in the Windows Server connection, this is where all of the keyboard events come in. So when we get a key down from the Windows Server, we end up here in Windows Server connection, handle key down. And first thing that we do is we look for a corresponding action to what you're pressing. So if you're pressing a keyboard shortcut, you know, like Control-C for copy or something like that, this is where we actually find a matching action for what you're pressing. So you can see here that we set an action to null, and then we go and look for an action for key event in the focus chain, and then we look in the window, and then we look in the application if there's an application-wide shortcut. And if we find one, then we activate it. But if we don't find one, we just post the event as a key event. But I'm thinking maybe before we do that, we could say if you press the magical emoji shortcut, so if key event, wait, can we read this somewhere? I guess it's message modifiers. So if modifiers is mod control, mod alt, and oops, and the message key is key space, then magical emoji time. I don't know. Let's say emoji time. Okay, so then we will make an input dialog for this. So we'll need to have locally emoji input dialog. Emoji input dialog construct. And we will give it the window that's receiving this key event as the parent. And then I wonder if this is going to be super irritating, and this would be better as a I'm not sure if this is a good way of doing it, but we'll start with this. I'm just thinking maybe this should be an opt-in behavior, so that like if you have a text editing widget, or if you're in the terminal or something like that, you can get this behavior. But say that you have like a button is focused, then maybe you don't want to bring up the emoji input dialog, so you can send an emoji to the button as key input. That doesn't really make sense, but we can figure that out once we have the feature working. So I guess what we'll do here is we'll exec, or we can even say if exec is exec okay. So if it works out, that means that you want to insert the emoji. And so we should actually post a different thing. This is really kind of strange, but okay. Because then we're kind of stopping the delivery of this thing, and we're going to deliver you an emoji instead once the dialog exits. So I guess we already constructed a key event, so we could go here and mess with it. Say the text is going to be emoji input dialog selected emoji text. And then key event, we could like do we have like invalid? Yeah. So we'll like neutralize the event. What else is in there? Modifiers, key modifiers text. Yeah, that's all of it. So we'll just neutralize the event and replace the text with the emoji. And then it can just carry on. But if you didn't get exec okay, so you like canceled the thing, then we will just return and not give you this at all. Wait, so let's organize this like early return style instead. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, I kind of want to try this now, so let's see if we can even get it to build. We can't. Emoji input dialog. You don't like me on line number 80. On click. I can't do this because button on click. Oh, this receives the modifiers in a lambda argument. We don't need the modifiers. We don't care if you control click a button in the emoji dialog, or shift click for that matter. Okay. Ooh. So I tried it in the terminal and we died. And where did we die? In too lower. Say what? Okay, too lower. Who is doing this to us? Too lower. I feel like that's probably not accurate. I'm indexing into some vector that I should... Oh, I guess because we're going outside of the bounds here, we should stop if the index goes outside. So we did index plus plus somewhere, right? So basically here, if index is greater than or equal to the code points size, then we will break. Yeah, it's a little awkward, but it's okay. I guess, okay, well, I'm going to do that differently in a moment, but I just want to get it running now. Poof, and here we are. Oh, look at that. The last one is, it's a bit weird. Okay, so that's definitely strange. Let's try it here. Click. So here it kind of works. That's pretty cool. Clickety clack. We can actually insert the emojis. This is clearly very lit, am I right, guys? That's awesome. So we definitely want to fix so that the last row is as uniform number of things. So we need to, what do we do? We want to, I guess we can put in dummies. So instead of breaking out of the loop like we did there, we could put in dummy buttons or dummy widgets that would just take up space. Oh, actually, we can put a spacer. That would be super cool. So, how do we do that? We put a spacer here, yeah. Horizontal layout, add spacer. And then index is less than code points index size. Yes. So a spacer in the layout system is sort of a non-widget entry into a layout that just takes up the space that's available at that position. So in this case, we get black because the widget behind us is not painting a background. We can fix that by just saying main widget set fill with, no, it's not set font, set fill with background color true. So yeah, so the spacer just takes up whatever space is available in the layout, and it behaves as if you inserted a widget there, but it's just a hole instead, which is exactly what we want right now. So you can click on that, nothing happens. But you can also click outside, and it doesn't dismiss the thing. So it could be better, but right now it's kind of like a message box that comes up, right? But I do like it a lot. These emojis are so damn cute. Linus made a whole bunch of ones after I made the last video. So I made the fire one, for example, and it just looks so cool. I could look at that one all day. Fire. Anyway, pasting or putting an emoji into the terminal now, that's not really working right. Because I guess we are pasting it and it gets very confused about it. I wonder why that happens. Let's figure out why that happens. So it comes as a key event. Oh yeah, right. So it's a key event. We have to remember that. It's probably terminal widget does something goofy for that. It just goes straight to looking at the key. Default break, that's fine. And then we look at the text. But then, oh, we only look at the first character from the text, so we don't consider the whole thing. But really, we should consider the whole thing. So, how do we do that? Well, I guess we can teach this thing. We can teach it to do a UTF-8 parse, for example. So we could do code point, and then this will be it's a little bit weird, but let's try this. So we'll do a UTF-8 view onto the event text, and then code point or for auto code key event code point. Yeah. So we're iterating the code points in the view. We should only get one code point. Although, I mean, you could have arbitrary text insertion, right? So this is a little bit a weird way of doing it. I guess the part that's strange here is that we are, if you're holding control, then we want to do something special. But maybe what we should do here is say if event text length is 1, then we can do this. So, because that's fine, but if it's longer than 1, so else if event text length is greater than 1, that means that it's text input, but it's not ASCII, because ASCII is always 1 byte, or 7 bits, right? So 1 byte input, ASCII text. And then it's ASCII. 2+ byte input, Unicode. So in this case, we want to send the whole thing verbatim to the pseudo-terminal master. So we'll just write to him. Event text characters, event text length. Yeah, so we'll just write the text verbatim to the terminal. We'll see how that goes. So if I press fire, ooh, look at that. It's got a little weird though, because now the cursor advanced so much. Why did you do that? Oh, this didn't go how I hoped. Wait, why is it doing that? Oh, is this because of the shell, maybe? If I grab something here, and I copy that, and then I paste it. Okay, yeah, so it's the shell. We have to teach the shell to understand that a multi-byte sequence like an emoji can take up less horizontal space. But that's okay. There's a lot of things in the system that need to know about that. Like earlier today, I taught ls, for example, how to handle this. So if you were to have a file that had an emoji in it, let's see if we can insert one like this. It's pretty cool. And then you ls, then ls now knows how to deal with that. And it should actually put them correctly into columns, although I wanted it to be on the first column. I guess I should have named it A something. Oh, but then I'm gonna mess it up. Let's see if we can open it. Yes, it works. And let's save as, and let's put A here, emoji. See, it actually, like the next column here is aligned properly and everything. So that took a little bit of finessing, but it's very nice. But the shell needs to know about it. Anyway, this thing, clearly very cool, right? Glass of milk, boom. And here, thumb up. Wait, I can't type? Why can't I type? Oh shit, wait. Am I messing up the key events now? Why would I be messing up the key events? I don't get it. ABC, okay, and then fire. Okay, I don't know why it stopped working. Oh, a crash. Where did we crash? Mem move in text document line append. Okay, so there's something I need to fix, but that's unrelated to this. What was that? And what was I doing? Append. Text append code points lengths. And what are we appending? We're doing a read from a null pointer. That's no good. And who's calling that? Text document remove. So you are doing an append with a null thing. First line code points. This is a bit sketch. Okay, so I think I'm not going to debug this right now because it's a bit outside of what I wanted to work on, but I'll have to come back to this and fix it up. So I spent some time changing the text editor so that it supports arbitrary Unicode now, and basically it's very simple. It works the same as the terminal in that every character cell in the text editor now is UTF-32. So it's an arbitrary Unicode code point, and it's using 4x amount of memory right now, but there are very easy optimizations we can do for that. And I've already done an optimization for the terminal, for example, so as long as it's text only and it's ASCII only, then it uses 8 bits per character, and then if a line has a non-ASCII character on it, so like these emojis here, all of these lines of text, they end up stored as 32-bit UTF-32 instead. But as long as new lines here only have ASCII text, then these lines are stored with 8-bit. So it's like per line storage policy now. And we can do a very similar thing in the text editor, but the text editor code is very easy to understand now, or easier to reason about than it was when we were using UTF-8, because UTF-8 you have to, you don't know at which byte offset any given code point is going to be found. So it's nice that we can index by code point. But the memory issue, of course, is a bit irritating. Anyway, we'll work around it, or not work around it, we'll optimize it, but not right now. But what did I want to do? I wanted to mess with this thing. Yes, thumb up. Okay, so I don't know what that disabled input issue was. I guess maybe we can figure that out later. But what don't I like about this? I guess escape works. That's good. It would be cool if you could like arrow your way between these, but we should probably do that in a generic way. I didn't want them to look like this. I wanted them to look like cool bar buttons. So let's fix that. So that would be button sets, button style, graphics, button style, cool bar. And let's try that. I bet it's gonna look so much cooler. Come on, cool bar. Let's just bring it up here. And oh, look at that. How tasty is that? That just looks so neat. I love it. I almost want to make the window like it should be maybe frameless, or not frameless, but title barless. It would be kind of cool. So what do we have for that? And I feel like I added something for this not too long ago. We have frameless, and then we have to paint our own frame, but we can do that. So we could just say set frameless true. What happens to us? We'll find out soon. I think by default will just be a gray, warm gray window. Yeah. This is neat though. And then we could totally put a nice looking border around this. Now I'm thinking, like, should we pop up the dialogue like at a specific location, like right at the cursor? But we don't have to do that right now, but it might be a nice touch for later. Let's fix the frame then. So to get a nicer frame, let's inherit, or let's use a GUI frame for the main widget. So use the frame, set frame shape. It's going to be a box, and the frame shadow is going to be a frame shadow erased box. How will that look? It's not the shape or shadow I use the most, so we'll have to see what they look like. That's not really the look I was going for, although it is kind of nifty, but do I like this look? Now I kind of want more of like a raised, not a raised box, but like a raised panel. What are the options? Container. Maybe a raised container is what I want. Let's try panel. Panel is normally a good look for these type of things. Hard to see here. No. I mean, it's almost like we want the usual window outline, really. But at the same time, that might be a bit much. Let's try a raised container. Sunken container would be so weird. Maybe the raised box wasn't bad. What are the other ones? Raised, sunken, and plain. Ooh, look at this. Raised container. That is a pretty nice look, actually. I like it. Raised container is fire. And look, this is so neat. So one thing that's weird now is that you can do this anywhere, right? So I'll say that I select File Manager and then I click zip here and then I press the emoji thing. And now I can send a smiley face key event to the zip folder. And that doesn't really seem useful, to be honest. So maybe this should be an opt-in thing. So what we can do for that is we can add something to the GUI widget class. So we can say, we can have something like set accept emoji input. Like that, and then accept emoji input. Oops. Clickety clackety. So we off by default. And then what we'll do with this guy is that, oh wait, hold on, is that in Windows Server Connection, we will check if, we'll check for the focused widget. I think that's probably what we should do. So when we're traversing the focus chain here, focus chain accepts emoji input, false, and then as we're traversing the focus chain looking for an action, we can use this opportunity. Wait, if we find an action, we're just going to activate the action and leave. Right, so we should only do this if we don't find an action. It's only relevant if we don't find a match in action. So we can actually do it this way, even though it will short circuit once it finds an action, because it doesn't matter. So we'll OR it with accepts emoji input. Okay, and then down here, we'll check if focus chain accepts emoji input and this and that. So focus chain, what that means is that if you have a widget that has a child widget and the child is focused and the child doesn't accept emoji input, but you, the parent, do accept emoji input, then we can let you get emoji input events even though your child is focused. Although I'm wondering if that really makes sense. Maybe it doesn't make sense. Because if a child is focused and he doesn't want emojis, then should we really be giving them to the parent? I'm probably overthinking this. Let's just go straight to the focused widget instead. focused widget accepts emojis. Emoji input is window focused widget and window focused widget accepts emoji input. Yeah, this will be easier to reason about. Okay. And then text editor. When we instantiate a text editor, we'll just say straight up in the constructor here that accepts emoji input. Yes, of course, my friend. And we'll do the same for the terminal widget. Boom. And there might be other widgets that would also want this, but then now you have to opt into this behavior, right? So I think that will make a bunch more sense. Who else wants this? I guess if you're not a text box and you're not at the terminal, I'm not sure anybody wants this. Unless you want to like you know, when you're in a file manager, for example, and you type letters and it will like jump to the file starting with that letter. And then if you have a file starting with an emoji, maybe you would want to search that way. Then we could let you do that. Well, it's a little bit strange. Well, we don't, it's not like we have to find every possible use for this right now. I think these two things, text editor and terminal, are pretty good. So this still works. Boom. And then if we bring up system monitor and I focus this thing right here. Wait. Oh, why are you losing focus? So weird. I can't bring up the emoji thing, so that makes sense. And it doesn't work here either, but if I click here, it works, and I can add. Poof. That's really nifty. So let's try to do something radical. Like, can we change the name of this? No, we can make a new directory. Foo with a laughing, crying emoji. Ha! Look at that shite. That's really awesome. And it's right there. And the hyperlink, it works. Man, how cool is that? All right, so cd foo. Yep. So yeah, the only problem, well, the most noticeable problem right now is that the shell gets confused about the horizontal space used by an emoji. But other than that, it's pretty dang good. So let's see. Now I'm kind of thinking, would we want some kind of different behavior if you click outside of this guy? But I don't know. Wait, what did I do? That's not what I meant to do. Maybe this is okay. Like if I click outside, maybe I can't click outside. I have to choose one or press escape. It might be cool if we would have tooltips on these that would say what they mean. I don't think we actually have those things stored anywhere, but it would be a cool feature to do later. But okay, let's commit some stuff. I think it's time. So wait, is any of this independent? I guess the terminal change here where we take arbitrary input, we can do that one separately. VT, so not this change, but this change. VT. Allow multi-byte allow handle key down events with multi-byte text correctly. Terminal widget can now handle key down events that contain multi-byte UTF-8 sequences. That's pretty cool. And then let's just add these two guys. Just two guys, and we are having a good time. So wait, hold on. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We can save this for a separate commit along with this one, right? Because it's just opting into the behavior, right? So yes, here we go. libgui. Add a simple emoji input dialog activated by Control Alt space. Widgets can now opt into emoji input by calling set accepts input. Yeah. Yeah, like that. If the focused widget, if the focused widget accepts emoji input, we'll pop up a simple dialog with all the available emojis as clickable buttons. You can press escape if you change your mind and don't want an emoji. This UI layout definitely will not scale as we add more emojis, but it works for the moment, and we can adapt it as we go. Pretty cool. Double smile. All right, that's awesome. Okay, and then let's opt into it. So text editor, all right, libgui. Always opt text editor widgets into emoji input. Maybe we should phrase that differently. Text editor now opts into emoji input by default. And terminal, or libvt. It now opts into emoji input by default. Boom. Wow, that's a lot of these guys. But this is very pleasant stuff, so I'm digging this. Let's see, maybe we can go and visit the guys on IRC and show off this cool capability. So let's go and visit them. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we are. Holy moly, look how many people are here. I remember when there was just just me and one other person. Okay, so let's send, which one do we send? Maybe the laughing, crying one. No, wait, the cool one, yes. The one with the sunglasses. Boom. I hope I hope that arrived correctly on the other side. Anyways, it probably did. So that's awesome that works. And I think maybe this is going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out. And I hope that you saw something interesting here. I find this quite fun to do, actually. And this will be fun to adapt the UI as we add more emojis. I guess we can keep doing this for a while, but then eventually we're going to need to scroll and search and stuff. Right now we have a small manageable collection. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. And it's really fun with this project. It's like it's not really clear where we're going, but we're clearly going somewhere. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.